Addons, the Flat Rate Master, and let's talk about how to make money on flat rate. So it's been a while since I did a video, and let's piss off the flat rate haters out there. So how do you make money on flat rate? First, let's describe, well, what flat rate is. Flat rate is you don't get paid for showing up and being at a shop for 8 to 10 hours. You literally only make money for the work you do. So when you pull a car in, say it needs an alternator, so you get paid a diagnostic fee to, well, diagnose the car, needs an alternator, and you get paid to do the alternator, replace the alternator, replace the part. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that alternator paid an hour. Battery charging system test pays half hour. So you get paid 1.5, an hour and a half to diagnose it and replace that alternator. How do we come out with that time? Well, there's something called book time. Now that is based on manufacturing warranty time. And the customer pay, or independent world, it's based on labor guides like ALLDATA, Mitchell, Motor, etc. And it's a multiplier from that warranty time from the manufacturer. So that alternator pays an hour, charging test pays half hour, whatever your shop pays, and that's what you get paid, whether it takes you 20 minutes or it takes you 2 hours. But here's the thing, if you know what you're doing and you're efficient at your repairs, guess what? Let's talk about the diagnostic. You get paid a half hour, let's just say that. I know there'll be a lot of people we go, oh, we only get 0.3 or whatever. 10, 15 minutes, you know, depending on the system, depending on how it operates, you get paid that to diagnose the system, however long that takes, and then you get paid that hour to replace it. Now the replacement could take an hour, could take 20 minutes, could take 2 hours. Now how you make money is you cut down the time it takes you to actually do that repair. You don't get paid for standing around, you get paid for fixing cars. So you want to figure out the most efficient way to do each repair. So that alternator that pays an hour, well, it only took you, 30 minutes after the test drive to make sure everything's good. You made a little bit of time. Now let's talk about the warranty system for dealer techs. Now this system is a little harder to make money on it. I mean, it's a lot harder to make money on, and I'll be honest with you, because it is. It's basically the bare minimum it can take you to do that job. So a lot of times it's hard to make money at a dealership that's exclusively warranty work because, well, it's all warranty time. Now there are some ways to make extra money on warranty time because there's add-ons. There's stuff that you can tack on to a repair to, well, pump up the numbers a little bit. Now those I can't talk about because I don't know them. You have to work for a specific manufacturer because they vary between manufacturing brands. Even in companies like, Volkswagen, Audi, they're different systems. So I can't, that's something you're gonna have to learn at the dealership, is those little things you can tack on. But it is a thing. But you have to know the system, because if you don't know the system and you don't do it right, it's gonna get kicked back and flagged. So it's a very delicate dance. But we're gonna focus on, well, customer pay. Because, well, that's where you're gonna be able to make the most amount of hours. Now, trust me, there's plenty of warranty times out there where you can make bank. And there's others where you lose your butt. And, there's a whole lot in between. That's what we're gonna say about warranty time, because it can either be, but it's work, or it can be, oh, I'm losing my, or it can be, it's a pretty good job. Now let's talk about some of the pitfalls of flat rate. If there's not enough work in the shop, well, you're not making any money. You're standing around for nothing. That is a disadvantage of flat rate. I'm gonna be honest with you, that does suck. Been there, done that. The other suckage is if you screw something up. It's your fault. You broke something, you rolled a gasket when you were putting a part in, and you messed up. Well, guess what? That's on you. You're not getting paid for it. To give a good example, yesterday, I was warrantying a water pump that I had done a year ago, and the first one, well, the new part was defective. The threads going in externally were messed up, so got to warranty that one again. The warranty pump I put in, I rolled the gasket. My fault, my bad. I had to tear it all back apart because it leaked like a sieve. Put it back together with a new gasket. Guess what? It was fixed. But I ate that time for that water pump because, well, it was my fault. That's how flat rate works, is you screw up, it's on you. Now let's talk about some of the ways you can make money. I had a viewer comment that independent shops should never be flat rate because you can't make money on anything but services. He's an Audi dealer tech and you can't make money on anything but services. Okay. That same Audi water pump I did, I also did control arms and a CV axle that paid 8 hours, I think. Guesstimating, the ticket's gone, so I can't look it up, but I did it in like 4. CV axles, both lower control arms on both sides, 1 CV axle. Don't quote me on the hours, I'm going by memory and I'm old, so. But you can't make money on repairs? Yeah, you can. But that's just an example. In that same vein, it is Thursday night, and as of right now, I am sitting at 63 hours for 4 days. Now, full disclosure, 17 of those hours were started last week, finished this week. But I still did like 50 hours I'm sorry, I have to correct that. I did 25 hours last week. I only worked 3 days because we had Christmas Eve and Christmas Eve off for the holiday. And I tore it down on Wednesday before I went home. But I finished it this week, so I get paid on it this week. But I've done 63 hours this week. Now, part of the reason why I did 63 hours is we're slammed. And I've been just trying my best to knock out as much stuff as I could, loading the guys up as much as I could, and then taking what was left and, well, knocking out as many services and repairs as I could. Let's talk about making money on flat rate in this context. So I had 2 Kias, identical engines, more or less identical cars, came in for 2 different reasons. Now the one that both came in for oil change PTIs, one came in for a AC complaint. Now, like 2 years ago, I put a compressor, expansion valve, and condenser in it, and came in for an AC complaint. Well, I brought it in, diagnosed the AC complaint, a hose is leaking, no big deal. I also noticed the belt tensioner I put in at that same time was rattling, so I had to warranty that and put a belt on it. Now, remember I mentioned an identical Kia? Well, I did the belt tensioner, did the belt, did the other repairs, parked that, pulled the other Kia in, and was doing the belt and spark plugs, filters, and all that. And well, when you just did one, you can really make it a lot faster because you know everything that's to be done. I didn't even have to look up a belt diagram. So I made that belt go on really fast. Now, yes, I did belts and, you know, it's the only thing you can make money on. I'll point you back to those control arms. You know, Audi, control arms, gravy. Not hard at all. The biggest problem I had was one of the pins came out of the spindle and I had to press it back in. Still didn't take that long. I don't know what to tell you. If you know what you're doing, you can make money on flat rate if you're in a good shop. The thing about flat rate is you have to be efficient with your time. You have to look at a job and go, this is what I need to do now, this is what I need to do after that, this is what and plan all your steps so you know exactly where you're going well before you get there because, oh, that's a 14 millimeter, I need a 12 millimeter for this, I need this, and you just go, and it's surprising how fast you can go torquing everything properly, because remember, comebacks are on you, making sure everything's good, tight, the way it's supposed to be, you can make time. Now let's talk about, well, how it all works out. You know, you'll pull in this car, you'll, XYZ repair, you'll make a little time. Next car comes in, you'll lose a little time. Next car, you make a little more time. Next car comes in, you make a good bit of time. And that's the advantages of flat rate is, yes, sometimes you don't make time, sometimes you lose it, sometimes you really lose it. But if you know what you're doing and you do work efficiently, most times you can pick up a little bit on each job, and at the end of the week, well, you make more hours than you were physically at the shop. Now I've gotten, commented, you have to work ultra late hours. 5:30, I'm out of here, period. I don't stay late. Those 63 hours were billed between 7:30 and 5:30 because, well, I'd rather be home than here. I only, I hear enough. So hope this was helpful. As always, thanks for watching. I am the Flat Rate Master.